Hey, welcome back to some thoughts on Thursday. We're going deep on something that actually seems pretty straightforward. Hey, let's just go straight to the text on this commandment, the fifth commandment, by the way, and it's a bridge between loving God and loving others. Check this out. Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. And it's quoted again in Deuteronomy. That was from Exodus 20, verse 12. And then it's also quoted by Paul in Ephesians 6. Man, you guys, so many wonderful things here. But I want to get right to it. This study, the Ten Commandments study, has been so helpful for me. It helps me to go deeper into stuff that I've already known and even thought a lot about. And here's the thing that really stood out to me. Parents are an extension of the authority of God. And they're the first authority in a person's life. And there's so many other different authorities. So the first question that I have for you today is, how do you respond to authority? And probably a little more specifically, how do you respond to correction from that authority? One of the coolest things that stood out to me in addition to that is this whole idea that authority commands you to do something. So what do you do when the authority commands you to do something that's immoral or wrong? Do you say, well, God said to honor them? We're going to look more into that in the message, so I'm just going to ask you to consider, what do you do when somebody teaches you to do something, or commands you, I should say, to do something wrong? Acts 5:29, we look at it real clearly. It says that, what am I supposed to do? Honor God or honor authority? When it comes to God, He's the ultimate authority. Do what He says. Here's another thought for you. What are some of the lessons about faith that God has used your parents or other authorities to teach you? What have you learned from them? Not just do you learn correction, will you learn correction, but what have you learned from those people? Maybe you've learned what not to do, but what have you learned to do? That leads me to the final thought for us today, and I'm going to bring you to actually Joshua 24:15. Not going to find this in any of our readings, although it's wonderful. The 1 Timothy 5:1-8, by the way, get after that. There's some really good stuff in that. But here you go. Joshua 24:15. Joshua's at the end of his life. He says, if it's evil in your eyes to serve the Lord, what a bummer that would be for you. But if it's evil, if you don't want to do it, choose this day whom you will serve. Whether the gods your fathers served in the region beyond the river, all those fathers died out there, by the way. And those gods were not good gods because they weren't God. Or you want to serve the gods of the Amorites, in whose land you dwell, like they have been eradicated from the land, destroyed, and those gods did not protect them. If you want to serve those false gods, go ahead. He says, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Final question for you. What are you doing to pass down the faith to those that you get to be in authority of? What is it that you're doing to pass down this faith? As far as you and your household, are you serving the Lord? Are you honoring mother and father after you honor God? And how are you honoring what they pass down to you and you pass down to others that is good and glorifying to God? Keep thinking through these things. Keep praying about these things. And honor your mother and your father. We'll talk a whole lot more about this on Sunday. See you then.